Hello everyone and welcome to Ready Steady Free From. This morning, it's morning where I am here in the UK. We are cooking peanut butter brownie. So it's not actually brownie, it's a blondie, so it's peanut butter blondie if you like, because there's no cocoa in it making it brown. So it's still lush. I am using smooth peanut butter. The one I'm using today is a big tub of Meridian. I do use a lot of peanut butter and so I do invest in the big tubs. So I'm using smooth. It's a bit kinder to my gut. It's easier to digest for those of us with digestive problems, bowel issues, things like that. If you can tolerate the crunchy peanut butter, then go for that because that is also beautiful in this recipe, but both are really good. This is a really sticky, gooey, fudgy, brownie, blondie thing. So in about half an hour, that's what we're going to have right in front of us. It's probably going to be too hot to eat, so after about 10 minutes of cooling, we can dive straight in. So I'm going to get straight into the recipe. There's only 4 ingredients here. So we're looking at 16 ounces of the peanut butter. You've got just under 1 cup of honey. We have 2 eggs, and we have half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. Okay, so got the peanut butter already in the jug. It's a jug. Let me show you. Okay, so it's like a jug. It's one of the nicest bowls I have. I think it's a Mason and Cash, so I hardly ever use it. But I thought peanut butter brownie, special occasion, and it's for the world to see. So get it out and enjoy using it. So we don't need the scales anymore. So we've got 16 ounces of that. Now I'm going to pour the honey in. Doesn't matter what order you put this in really. Now you'll notice my honey is quite runny, and that's because in the bottom of the jar it was starting to set. So I just warmed it up a bit and that loosened it up and made it clear again. So if you find that you've got a jar of honey in the cupboard and it's all set and crystallized, don't chuck it away. Just heat it up either in the microwave or in a saucepan and you'll be able to have the clear honey again. So we've got that right in there. It's looking lush, big well of honey in the bottom there. I'm going to pop the eggs in next. This is one of my favorite just throw it all together recipes. There we go, 2 eggs, and I'm going to give this a mix before I put the bicarbonate of soda in, because the bicarbonate of soda, when that goes in with the wet ingredients, it starts to activate, and so we want it really activating in the oven. Talking of the oven, we've got the oven on 130 for a fan oven. And for other, we've got gas mark 2 and a 300 if you're on that higher temperature. I think it's Fahrenheit, isn't it? 300. Okay, so we're evenly mixing this. It's quite gloopy. Okay, it looks lush. It smells divine. So once upon a time, I hated peanuts, and in the last few years, I've really grown to love them, and it's almost caused a bit of an addiction. It's ridiculous how fanatical you can come about it. It's just peanut butter. So anyway, half a teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. Just pop that across the top, and then we're going to give that a good mix to try and get it mixed evenly. And I've already got a pan here lined, ready with the silicone liner. As I said, these silicone liners are absolutely a godsend, so invest in one if you're going to be doing this kind of cooking. They're also good for, you know, when you just want to stick if you're cooking for other people or you're cooking for yourself, like a pasty in the oven so it doesn't stick to the tray. You can use it instead of foil, and it's obviously more environmentally friendly because you just wash it and keep it, and it does last years. So I've switched to a spatula rather than the spoon because I want to get all of this mix out of here. It's my peanut butter brownie, it's nobody else's, especially not the washing ups, because the washing up is not going to appreciate this brownie, not half as much as I will, not even at all. because it's not having any feelings, it's just washing up. Talking nonsense now. Okay, so that's it. I'm just going to spread it across. Now this doesn't rise very much because obviously to get that consistency of fudgy, sticky, gooey brownie, we don't want it to rise very much, so it's not going to be very aerated at all. So we're going to pop this in the oven now, and we're going to check it after about 20 minutes. Cheeky taste. Okay, so popping this in the oven, and I'll see you in 20 minutes. Hi, so here we are back. It's 20 minutes later and I've just taken it out of the oven. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like. So there we are. So it has risen a little bit. It's quite firm to touch. So I'll just swing the camera down a little bit. So you can see that it's firm to touch. So if you do that, it's got a bit of a wobble. Okay, which is what we want because that's going to mean it's nice and gooey. Now it's only taken 20 minutes because it's been in a fan oven. So we're going to leave that to cool now. I've just put it on a rack to help the air circulate underneath it, to help it cool quicker because I'm impatient. So there we go. So I've got this recipe from fengshuidana.com. So that's feng shui and then DANA.com. Now this is a recipe I saved on Pinterest some time ago. I've made it a number of times and it's really, really yummy. Freezes really well. Most of the things that I do I freeze, and so it does freeze really well, and you can just get it out and eat it either straight from the freezer or defrost it in the microwave for 10-15 seconds and see how that goes. So I'm just going to read you some of the instructions that she says on her website because that might help you. So she says bake for 30 to 35 minutes. Now only you know your oven as well as you do. I don't know your oven, so make your own judgment. I know mine cooks quite quickly because it's quite new and it's fan oven. My old oven probably would have taken an hour, but this new one is great and it cooks really fast. So go with what you think it might be, and all you've got to do is just nip in and check it before the complete time to make sure that you're on track and you're not going to overcook it, because if you overcook it, it's not good. So I'll just read you a bit more. So bake for 30 to 35 minutes until the top is set. It perhaps jiggles just slightly beneath the surface if you shake the pan, and it seems nearly golden. Now that's a tricky thing. With it being peanut butter, it's golden anyway, but you'll see kind of like a bit of a tinge to it, and it does have that golden tinge to it. If you overbake it, it will lose its fudgy wonder, she says. If you underbake it, it will taste like baking soda and not stay together. Now I've never underbaked this, so and it has been really, sometimes I think I've underbaked this, but it's still kind of fudgy and gooey, but it doesn't taste like baking soda, and it did hold together. So I think it's quite tricky to underbake this. So then she summarises: firm to touch, just starting to brown, and roughly 30 to 35 minutes before you remove it from the oven. And obviously ovens do vary, and she states that. She says let it sit on a rack until it's room temperature and then refrigerate for 2 hours before cutting into squares. So that's a recipe from Dana at fengshuidana.com. So I highly recommend it. Have some fun with it. You could put raisins in it, chocolate chips in it if you wanted to, but just plain, it is simply divine. So I might see if I can do a cheeky taste test, because I'm not usually a rule follower when it comes to waiting to taste things. So I'm just going to cut this. It's all stuck to my knife because it's all gooey. It's like, it's warm, gooey, sweet, peanut butter heaven. It's making my mouth water. So I'm just going to go for a little edge bit here. Now the edge bit, it's a bit shallower than the rest of it, so it's a bit fluffier than normal. Now You can see here, this bit's quite fluffy, but you can see as well that it's quite gooey. If I just stick it together, you can see it's still quite dense. So when that cools, because it's a bit crumbly at the minute because it's not cooled, and so that gooiness, and especially when you freeze it as well, the gooiness stays with it. And you know when you eat it straight out of the freezer, it sticks to your mouth, it sticks to your teeth. It's just lovely. Obviously, if you don't like that, then maybe don't eat it out the freezer. But it's really good. So, grain-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, 4 ingredients, 20 minutes, half an hour. Get to enjoy lots of peanut butter brownie. Blondie. Okay, see you next time in the kitchen. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more videos, and I will see you next week. Take care, everyone. Bye.